Here's your wrestling news for October 1st, 2025. Your headlines for today include another wrestler shown the door after contract runs out, NXT and TNA Invasion special gets a new name during the September 30th episode, WWE NXT vs TNA Wrestling Showdown men's and women's teams officially revealed, back-to-back shocks, 2 WWE booking moves leaves fans in shock. Ethan Page to defend men's WWE NXT North American title against TNA star at Showdown next week. NXT and TNA GMs reveal team captains for newly renamed Showdown episode next week. Matt Cardona returns to NXT, screws Josh Briggs. Did he just choose sides against TNA? TNA's Hardy Boys to battle NXT's Dark State in huge title-for-title match, and more. WWE is officially backing off the Invasion name for its upcoming NXT vs TNA crossover after international backlash forced the company to rethink its branding. As reported in yesterday's 5:30 p.m. news update, the controversy erupted after Sky News Arabia revealed that Israeli officials expressed outrage over the original event name and date. WWE's special was set for October 7th, coinciding with the anniversary of the 2023 Hamas attacks on Israel. Critics slammed the Invasion branding as tone-deaf and highly insensitive given the timing. During this week's episode of NXT, TNA's Director of Authority Santino Marella addressed the situation directly. He emphasized that TNA Wrestling is not invading NXT but rather working with them, clarifying that the upcoming show will instead be promoted as a Showdown. WWE, clearly aware of the backlash, has already deleted all social media posts that reference the original Invasion name for the special. For younger wrestling fans, WWE already ran an Invasion storyline in 2001 after purchasing WCW and following ECW's closure. That angle saw stars from both rival promotions unite as the Alliance to battle WWE, a storyline that remains one of the most famous cross-promotional arcs in wrestling history. With the new Showdown branding in place, WWE appears to be treading more carefully this time around. What's your take on WWE's decision to change the name? Do you think Showdown works or not? Sound off in the comments below. Now, Masha Slamovich's time in TNA appears to be over, and according to new reports, that decision was made well before the recent domestic violence allegations involving her former partner Akira. For weeks, speculation swirled online that Slamovich had been pulled from the ongoing NXT-TNA crossover, or that some kind of backstage drama led to her removal, but Fightful Select has now cleared up the confusion, revealing the truth was much simpler. Sean Ross Sapp reported that Slamovich was never booked for the NXT storyline in the first place. She wasn't even in the United States when the crossover segment was taped, putting to rest the idea that she was suddenly cut from the program. As for her TNA status, Fightful confirmed that her future had already been decided before the allegations surfaced. The company did not plan on re-signing her, and that reality factored heavily into her recent booking decisions. Slamovich was set to drop the Knockouts Championship to Ash by Elegance regardless, and once the allegations became public, TNA moved quickly to pull her from the Victory Road event altogether. Sapp added more context by noting that the company had quietly mapped out her exit, meaning her departure wasn't tied directly to the allegations, even though the timing has fueled plenty of speculation online. Do you think Masha Slamovich will resurface in another promotion soon, or could this be the start of a long pause in her wrestling career? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Enjoying the video? A quick like goes a long way in helping us grow and deliver more wrestling news you care about. We are kicking off NXT today with the opening segment from this week's show, which opened with a recap of No Mercy, which had a heavy focus on Blake Monroe versus Jordynne Grace, and the main event between Oba Femi and Ricky Saints, leading to the new NXT champion appearing. Saints delivered his first promo since winning the title, speaking passionately about winning the title and proving the doubters wrong by betting on himself. The former AEW star came across as genuinely emotional when the crowd chanted "You deserve it," which also led to Jacy Jayne appearing to congratulate him. However, she claimed that they have bigger things to worry about. That's when she spoke about TNA trying to take over NXT because they keep winning TNA's titles from them. This led to Ava appearing as she revealed that Saints and Jayne are the team captains of NXT, meaning they get to pick their own teams. Santino Marella also made an appearance, receiving a warm welcome from the NXT crowd due to his history in WWE. He then revealed the captains of TNA's teams, which are Mike Santana and Kalani Jordan. The announcers were shocked by this due to Marella picking a member of the NXT roster as the TNA captain, even though Kalani is currently the Knockouts champion. It leads to questions as to whether Santino can trust Jordynne being in this role. She's only been Knockouts champion for over a week, and she's now representing TNA against NXT. It feels like slightly poor booking and something that overlooks the entire Knockouts division, which took away from the hype and excitement of the event itself. Throughout the show, WWE put heavy emphasis on the team selection process, and it was presented as one of the key focal points of the show. The way it was framed gave the entire event real weight, and it flowed seamlessly into matches that actually carried stakes. That led into Miles Bourne taking on Josh Briggs for a spot on Team NXT. Despite the size difference, Bourne wasn't intimidated and went right after Briggs, even hitting a suplex to set the tone early. The match was hard-hitting and full of energy, and while the action was simple, it felt competitive and well fought. In the end, it was Bourne who got the win to officially secure his place on Team NXT. The finish, however, wasn't without controversy. Briggs looked to use a chain to gain the advantage, only for TNA's Matt Cardona to step in and stop him. That distraction gave Bourne the opening he needed to capitalize and score the victory. The interference left Briggs enraged, and while no official match has been set, the tension makes a future confrontation between him and Cardona feel inevitable. What makes it even more intriguing is that Cardona himself isn't a part of Team TNA, raising the question of whether this conflict is going to turn into a personal feud between him and Briggs. In the women's division, Jaida Parker faced Lash Legend in a match that had been building up for weeks, which led to them having an aggressive encounter from the start. The match spilled out of the ring as the show went to break, with both of them on the ground following a slam by Legend. The encounter returned with Parker locked in a single leg crab, which she had to get to the ropes to escape. Both women are more physically imposing than most of the women in WWE, and they've made significant improvements since joining the company. The match wasn't a pretty one, but it was competitive, and that drew audiences in. In the end, Parker secured the win with a running hip strike, earning a clean victory without any shenanigans or interferences. WWE also did a good job questioning allegiances of certain wrestlers as they head into TNA and NXT's battle, and TNA's team captains were on hand to push that narrative further. They questioned the allegiances of Jordynne Grace and Joe Hendry due to their long, storied histories with TNA, despite now working for NXT. Grace admitted that TNA means a lot to her, and she doesn't trust Jayne, as she admitted she'd rather be on Kalani's team. However, the TNA Knockouts champion admitted that's her issue, as people don't know where Jordynne stands. Santana told the two of them that they have 1 foot in and 1 foot out, and he's not willing to leave it up to chance, which is why neither Hendry nor Grace was picked. However, that doesn't mean they won't be a part of the show next week. Grace made it clear that they have to be a part of the show somehow, seemingly teasing that they'll have some role to play. Tensions within Team NXT became the focal point on the show as well, with Fallon Henley facing Lola Vice in a match that had real implications. Despite being her partner, Jayne insisted that Henley has to prove herself by earning her spot on the team, which led to her competing against Vice to try and get a place. The match was engaging, and Henley put the momentum in her favor with a brilliant German suplex, which almost sealed the win with a well-executed neckbreaker. Despite that, Vice refused to stay down, and she battled back and rallied in the closing moment. With just 30 seconds left, Vice ended up snatching the win, which left Jayne stunned as her friend didn't earn her place on her team. It was a short match, but its unpredictable nature kept the crowd guessing until the end, making it an entertaining one to watch from a fan's perspective. Elsewhere on the show, Ethan Page entered the ring and bragged about defeating Tavion Heights, and he opted to call out Dr. Wagner Jr. to continue their storyline. However, it was Mustafa Ali who answered the call. The former WWE superstar reminded Page that when he was released, he was the #1 contender for the North American Championship, and he never got his title shot against Dominic Mysterio. Ali still wants the title shot, and he wants it now. Ali revealed that he's spoken to Ava, and he'll get one next week, which led to them having a fight as Ali sent All Ego packing out of the ring. After WWE's website briefly leaked and then quickly corrected details, NXT officially revealed the mystery attacker from No Mercy. It was confirmed that Lainey Reed was the one who assisted Jayne in defeating Lola Vice. Reed also admitted to being responsible for taking out Jasmine Nix, which explained why Nix was removed from Fatal Influence. In reality, this ties into Jasmine Nix's legitimate departure from WWE. The reveal came during a backstage segment with Jayne and Fallon Henley. What stood out, however, was Lola Vice's reaction earlier in the night. Despite being cost her big opportunity at No Mercy by someone clearly working with Jayne, Vice was shown willing to put her differences aside with Jayne to represent Team NXT. From a storytelling standpoint, this undercut some of the emotion of her loss, as Vice showed little frustration over being robbed of her moment. Looking ahead, the angle strongly suggests that Lainey Reed could be positioned to join Fatal Influence. Such a move would make sense creatively, especially if it eventually builds toward Reed challenging Jacy Jayne's leadership and potentially taking over the faction. Matt and Jeff Hardy appeared on NXT tonight via video link to promote their upcoming showdown with Dark State. The Hardy Boys will challenge for the Tag Team Championships in a high-stakes winner-take-all match with both the NXT and TNA tag titles on the line. During their message, the Hardys revealed that the other two members of Dark State will be banned from ringside. This aligns with Ava's earlier announcement at No Mercy that no one would be allowed at ringside, ensuring a decisive finish. With these stipulations in place, the match is guaranteed to produce a clear winner. The stakes could not be higher, as a victory would not only strengthen NXT's position in the ongoing Invasion storyline, but also allow the Hardys to further cement their legacy as one of the most decorated tag teams of all time. Lyra Valkyria appeared again tonight, presenting Tatum Paxley with a Lyra doll as a symbolic gift. This moment hinted at a potential deeper connection between the two, raising speculation that Valkyria could eventually be the one to save Paxley from the Culling. Such a move could also set the stage for Paxley's possible main roster call-up, as her character has shown strong potential for the larger stage. Meanwhile, tension surfaced within the women's division. Zarya looked visibly frustrated as Sol Ruca secured another spotlight moment, officially joining Team NXT. Ruca continues to shine as a double champion, while Zarya has been left without recognition or gold. The contrast between their paths may be planting early seeds for a split between the duo known as Zaruka. If that direction is pursued, Zarya could emerge as a serious contender for the Women's North American Championship, positioning her as a top threat in the division. Backstage, Leon Slater and Javon Evans had a segment that involved the Culling. Slater and Evans were friendly as they were prepared to team up to take them on. That's exactly what they did, with the two wrestlers working together to take on the Culling in tag team action later on in the show, despite being from opposing shows. Slater immediately took control of Shawn Spears and cornered him with some mounted punches, keeping up the momentum against Nico Vance as well by tagging in Evans to keep themselves fresh. The high-flying team hyped up the crowd with their speed, proving their qualities as performers. The Culling was good, but Evans and Slater were the real stars within this match. WWE were smart to put them together as it led to a fun performance, with Evans taking out Vance at ringside to allow Slater to hit the 450 Swanton for the win. Before the final break of the show, several TNA stars were shown arriving in the NXT parking lot, making their way to the arena with several NXT stars as the final teams were revealed. The men's NXT team will see Ricky Saints, Trick Williams, Javon Evans, and Miles Bourne work together to compete against TNA's team of Mike Santana, Frankie Kazarian, Moose, and Leon Slater. On the women's side of things, Jacy Jayne will be joined by Sol Ruca, Lola Vice, and Jaida Parker, while Kalani Jordan's team will feature Cassie Lee, Jessie McKay, and Mara Sade. As expected, the show ended with a huge brawl between everyone from both companies, with Ava and Santino having no ability to stop them. The show was almost entirely devoted to building toward next week's Showdown episode between NXT and TNA, which isn't a bad thing at all. What do you think? How was this week's NXT? Sound off in the comments below. Don't miss our next video coming at 5:30 p.m. Eastern with all the latest wrestling updates. Smash that bell icon and select all notifications so you're always in the loop.